What's happening, people? Welcome to today's video. We're back with a Q&A and I'm excited for it. I love sitting down on the couch and chatting with you guys, so let's get into it. I actually want to make this a weekly regular thing because it's just a fun and easy video for me to do, and it's very informative. We cover lots of topics. It's great. And if you're new here, of course hit that subscribe button and like the video, please. Maybe even leave a comment for the algorithm. When is Project X going live? So this was asked a lot, and funny enough, today was a huge day for me. I made the biggest transfer, the biggest transaction I've made in my entire life. And it's done. It's all done now. The packaging, the product itself, the maths, the logistics and all that, the profit margins, everything, it's all done. I pulled the trigger, sent the payment off into space, and now the product's gonna come and hopefully it will be live and available end of November, just in time before everyone starts Christmas shopping, and we're gonna end the year on a high. So today was a really big day for me, and I'm so excited. And I'm like, whoa! Like my heart was thumping all day, and it feels great. Like I always say, do things that scare you and do them regularly. So yeah, please God, hope this pays off. Please like it. Please enjoy the product. So end November, realistically. I'm trying to get it as early as possible, like mid-November or something, but realistically end of November. Things always take more time than you plan on it. There's a life lesson for you. High reps for fat loss, low for muscle gain. Where did this myth come from? So I've said in previous videos on how you want to be lifting heavy when you're on a cut to retain muscle, okay? But where did the actual myth come from? And I'm not too sure. I think it just, people in their head, they're like, oh yeah, I'm high reps, I'm feeling the burn. It must be burning fat. So much bro science comes from just like what people make up in their heads, but I think that's maybe where it came from. But so to clear up the myth, no, you want to be lifting as heavy as possible while on a cut to maintain strength and muscle. You got that muscle from lifting heavy, lifting hard. You gotta keep doing that. Creatine use on a cut. Now, some people have argued with me on this in the past. I think creatine is best used on a cut. I think all stuff like creatine, pre-workouts and all that, you wanna use it when you've more chance of losing muscle, when you're in a deficit, okay? If you're bulking or gaining weight, you're more anabolic, okay? You've less risk of losing muscle. So when you are on a cut, and again, you've more risk of losing muscle, you wanna use everything you have in your toolbox. So again, it's gonna keep strength on the bar, it's gonna keep your lifts where they are, and you're gonna cut down. And it's like, if you're in a caloric deficit, it doesn't matter if you take creatine or pre-workout or something, if it doesn't put you out of that deficit, you're still gonna lose body fat. So I recommend creatine on a cut more so than when you're gaining weight. Another one is people complain about water weight when taking creatine. Basically, creatine pulls water into your muscles, okay? So if you're shredded, you're shredded. Even when I've previously competed, I have used creatine right up until show day. I will include some pics and some videos. I'm looking dry as a bone. There's veins on my lower abs. It's not gonna make you look obese when you're shredded. Do I find it difficult to balance the fitness life with the party life? I think people have in their heads that I go out a lot more than I do. So like in the summer, if I travel or if I go away for like a week, usually like every night I'll have a glass of wine with dinner, or if I'm in a place like Ibiza, I'll go out most nights. But then for like 2 to 3 weeks after that, I'm just like back in the gym, back in the grind, going into full hermit mode. And then even this year, for example, I didn't drink any alcohol whatsoever, didn't go out for all of February, March and April, just completely sober. And yeah, I love those periods of time. I have no problem staying in. I do not get FOMO. I love the gym life. So it's so much balancing going on. I just kind of pick my battles and go out when I want to, and then other times I'll stay in. So yeah, it's pretty easy, but yeah, I think people think I go out a lot more than I do, or drink a lot more than I do. I'd say on average, I go out, if you take the whole year, like summer, and you average it out with winter, I'll probably go out 2 to 3 times a month. That really doesn't affect my fitness too much. I'll, have a rest day on Sunday and then back to it on Monday. What was your time in school like? So I went to a boarding school in Kildare in Ireland, and it was boarding 7 days a week. There's some schools in Ireland that board Monday to Friday, and then you go home for the weekend. This was 7 days a week, and I honestly loved it. I know some of my friends hated it. A lot of people didn't like it. but I loved it. I think it helped me a lot with routine. For example, if your room wasn't clean in the morning, you get locked out of your room for the day. And like, you know, that's just such a hassle, because when you want to get like changed for the gym or for rugby training, you know, you have to take all your stuff with you for the whole day. So that's taught me to be really like neat and organized. When you're playing rugby and you're on a good team in the school, Clongowes is the name of the school, you've like training, you've weights in the morning, and then after school you've training, and then if it's like a match week at night, you'll have like a pitch run out, and then you obviously got like your classes in between all that. So like it's non-stop, and I kind of loved it, you know? It was like really organized, and there's loads of sport and fitness. So yeah, I like it, and I think it taught me a lot of independence and a lot of kind of structure and routine. It gave me a lot of that in life. I was absolutely terrible academically though, but I had a lot of fun. In every single class, I had to sit up at the front. Like it was non-negotiable. Like I'd walk in, I had to sit at the front because I'm just such a mad bastard. Whoa, we got a badass over here. I'm joining the gym next week. Do I really need to take all the supplements and stuff? No, you do not. Take all that money that you're going to spend on supplements. Go watch one of my grocery videos. There's many of them. And go spend all that money on food. Get a nice structured weight training routine and stick to it, and try to increase your lifts over time. That's all you need to worry about. You're gonna make loads of gains. Just spend that money on food and stick to the basics. And enjoy. It's probably the most gains you'll ever make in your whole training career. Did Israel Adesanya have Gyno in his last fight against Costa? So I watch pretty much every UFC fight. It's probably the sport that I'm interested most in. I'd still definitely be deemed as a casual though from a lot of people who followed UFC closely, but I found it really interesting when he walked out and he had blatant Gyno, okay? Because I'm in the bodybuilding, physique, fitness industry. I can spot, like I can tell pretty well if someone's on gear or not. The first thing I noticed was the Gyno. I was shocked. I was honestly shocked. I couldn't believe it. Like it's so obvious. Like would he not get it surgically removed before going on live TV in front of millions of people? Like I was shocked he had it. I was like, his coach didn't include PCT or an aromatase inhibitor or something. I was really shocked that they let him do that on the day, like, and no one stepped in and told him, hey, you're growing a boob on your right pec. But I really, at his age and like his training, he's obviously healthy, he's an athlete, he's probably got a nutritionist, a coach, everything. I really don't see what else it could be apart from Gyno. And on the Ariel Helwani show, his answer when he got asked about it was really wishy-washy. I thought it was very wishy-washy. Yeah, if someone asked me to put my life savings on whether he takes steroids or not and whether that Gyno's from steroids, I would say yes. I would put my life savings on that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Fair enough, but yeah, that's what I bet on. And I believe the great philosopher Nate Diaz once said,
everybody's on steroids.
I love Nate Diaz. He's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, but you know, what do you expect? He's one of the most elite athletes in the world right now. He literally kicked the living daylights out of Costa, someone who literally looks like a bodybuilder. Two people that have done really good videos on the topics are More Plates, More Dates. It's a channel that talks a lot about anabolic steroids, really interesting. And Greg Doucette, Coach Greg, love him. Optimal split for working bloke that can make it to gym 4 days a week. 4 days a week is great work. I would do upper, lower, and that is the split. When I worked 9 to 5 office job, that is a split I did as well, and it was great. You're gonna make tons of gains as long as there's progression. I've even got an amazing 4-day split on my website, roblipsett.com. Go check it out. But yeah, that's a great split. And sometimes even when I'm traveling or if I've had a busy week, I run that myself. I love training full upper body, full lower body on a day. You get an insane pump. Do you think turning 21 is getting old or just getting started? You are literally just allowed to drink alcohol in America. Like you are so just getting started. And it's so funny at the time, like you probably think, oh, I'm 21, I feel so old now. You are just getting started. You've got so much ahead of you. Hell, I'm 28 and I feel like I'm just getting started. Seriously. I even can't wait to be in my 30s. They say your 30s are like your 20s, but just with money. So yeah, you're just getting started and you've got a long road of life ahead of you. Enjoy. Is breakfast the most important meal of the day? So you know what we say on this channel. I say stop looking at meals and certain times individually and look at your whole diet as a context. And also personal preference is hugely important when it comes to your diet and when it comes to adherence and sustainability. So some people don't like a large breakfast. Some people like black coffee in the morning and just fast the rest of the day. Some people like loading up on breakfast, getting ready for the day. Personally, I like a very small breakfast. So yeah, it's down to the individual, and I would recommend looking at your diet as a whole instead of just certain meal times. Do you want kids anytime soon? Probably not till I'm in my 30s. I do definitely want to have some Rob Lipsett Juniors. I'm Rob Lipsett the third. Got to make another one. Got to keep passing it on. I would love like 3 or 4 kids. So better get started sooner rather than later. Like, I also want to be kind of like a young father as well. You know, I think that kind of looks cool. Yeah, yeah. I want to have like a lot of energy to give to my kids and everything. So yeah, when I'm in my 30s for sure. No time soon. Maybe there already is a Rob Lipsett Jr. run around out there. I just don't know about it. Oh, so cool again. What's the absolute fastest way to get shredded? So I actually do not like even talking about this, as I would never ever recommend it to anyone. But probably the most effective crash diet is probably PSMF. It's just pretty much a protein only diet. It stands for protein sparing modified fast. And yeah, it's crazy, but that is, I'd never recommend it. It's like so extreme, but it's kind of interesting to study it, really. I heard about it from Lyle McDonald. That's not what we're about on this channel. Slow, steady, sustainable results. That's what you want to aim for. Does 6 to 8 small meals a day increase metabolism? This was one of the first videos I ever did on my whole channel, and it is not true. And basically where this myth came from, it comes from TEF, which is the thermic effect of food. And so this is how much calories our body burns when we eat and digest food. And so people thought, okay, the more meals I have per day, well then that must activate TEF more, right? Wrong. Basically, TEF, the thermic effect, is a percentage of your entire calories for the day. So if you eat 3,000 calories in 3 meals, so 3 1,000 calorie meals, or 6 500 calorie meals, the net total, the total amount of TEF is going to be the exact same. That's where that myth came from. I understand how people could have got that confused, but no, your meal frequency should just depend on personal preference and what suits your schedule. Busting myths over here today. I used to believe that as well. That was one of the first myths that like I really got hung up on, and like I would be freaking out if I missed a meal. So yeah, that one hits home. Do you actually need to eat before training, or is it okay to train fasted? So there's going to be a few things that come into play here, such as when was your last meal? Was it late at night? Was it earlier in the day? Are you currently bulking or gaining weight? You know, how much calories are you taking in? Because if you're taking in a lot of calories, it's going to take longer to digest, and it's going to be an overlap of nutrients, possibly into the next day. What time are you training at? Are you training first thing in the morning or later on in the day? So there's a few factors, but if let's say you are training first thing in the morning and you know you eat your last meals at 9 p.m, I think it's absolutely fine, you know. And I sometimes like training fasted. You feel sharp as well. And sometimes if I eat loads before gym, you just feel bloated and sluggish. On top of that, the type of training you're going to be doing depends a lot as well. Are you just doing an hour of weights in the gym, or are you going to go out and run a marathon? Okay, so there's a lot of things that come into play, but for the people watching this channel, it's probably just going to the gym and it's not that important. Again, what you eating the entire day is the main thing, and your pre-workout meals should kind of depend on personal preference as well. It's like, imagine you got full up and bloated easily. As a coach, would I give you like a massive pre-workout meal and be like, you have to eat that? No, that's not going to help you train better. So before you go to the gym, just eat what makes you feel best, even if that is fasted training and you've got the gym early in the morning. When are you starting a podcast? I actually wanted to start one this year, but again, having guests on and you're visiting people and everything was just such a no-go this year. I planned on doing so much collaborations as well with other people, and again, that just didn't happen because of the pandemic that's going on. Right now, I feel like this is kind of my podcast. You know, I love doing long form spoken videos like this where I just get to kind of just chat away about topics. But yeah, I definitely do want to start one in the future, and I'd love to have it like a really cool studio and just all the mics set up, really good camera quality, just do it right. So yeah, that is definitely going to happen in the future. Will there be a London meetup one day when this is all over? So that was something that I planned on doing a lot this year, and again, it didn't happen. Like, I've had at least two Alpha Elite meetups in London. They've been huge. I put on my own creator agency event not too far away, just in Chelsea. That was amazing as well. And so like, I planned on doing regular meetups this year, and just like, it sucks, even with like expos and events that were just completely written off this year. So when it all clears up, I would love to meet the London LF army. Comment down below, actually, if you're from London and you're watching this. But even like, you know, walking around, be it in Hyde Park or Battersea Park or whatever, I often meet someone who watches the channel. People just be like, hey, what's up, Rob? Or something like that. And it honestly makes my day. It's like the nicest thing ever. So yeah. Do you regret not finishing college? No, I regret actually going to college. So for people that maybe, you know, this is your first time tuning into the channel, I went to college for 2 years, failed first year twice. You know, I'm terrible academically, like really bad. So I repeated first year twice. I honestly felt like Billy Madison, and then I just dropped out. I just left. And so for me, those 2 years were just a complete waste of time. It wasn't for me. So no, I don't regret not finishing, as you know, I just knew it wasn't for me. But then if I didn't give it a try, I wouldn't have known it wasn't for me. You know, they say, no regrets. Yeah, no, it just definitely wasn't for me. And I definitely do not regret not finishing. What do you get the most enjoyment out of in life? I think when I'm just like on top of my shit, like putting out consistent content, I'm hitting the gym regularly, I'm nailing my training, my diet's dialed in, I'm working on new projects, I'm setting goals and achieving them. That's when I feel my best. And I think that goes for most people. I think that's when we all feel our best. I truly do think productivity is one of the keys to happiness. I think it's just so important having a goal to work towards in life. Some pictures and videos, you look insane. Some you look like a normal human, lol. How different does your body change day to day or week to week? This is a good question. And it changes massively. Like, you know, there's some videos where like I'm out for dinner or I'm in Ibiza, like drinking or something, and you know, I look like bloated, I'm not tense. Even now, I'm just sitting on my couch, I'm eating a few meals, I don't have a pump. It's like, you compare that to when I'm like in the morning and haven't eaten much or drank loads of water, I'm like pumped, training, the perfect downlight. It's night and day. It's like two different physiques completely. But yeah, I don't really worry about that. You know, if we were to get hung up on how we look at a bad angle, you know, or at a certain time of day, you drive yourself insane. But to answer your question, it can look completely different depending on the time of day, if I'm training or not, if I'm pumped, in good lighting, what I've eaten, so many things. Like, and sometimes I'm on holidays and I'm just like taking it easy for the week, and you know, I'll look completely different to when I'm prepping for a show. If you take away anything from that answer, is to don't get too hung up on when you look your best and when you don't look your best. Just be happy. Ever been to a therapist or want to go to one? I've never been to a therapist, but I've heard nothing but good things, and I think it would be really, really interesting as well. And another question that comes up is like, are you positive the whole time? Are you also happy and full of energy? And the answer is no, of course not. Everyone feels down, depressed, and anxious at times. It's just a part of life. And you know, of course I'm gonna be full of energy when giving my most to you guys when I'm making a video, but we all go through low times as well. So I would really love to bring like someone who's an expert in mental health onto the channel to talk about it, because it's such a complicated topic. And yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about people that have been to therapists. I would like to even maybe one day go to a therapist, even when like I don't feel I need to. Like, I think it'd probably be beneficial no matter how you're feeling. Any new book ideas, like on your journey through the fitness industry, or more of an autobiography style book rather than strictly a fitness one? Yeah, definitely. I'm sure in my lifetime I'm gonna write another book, and I would love to kind of write a book that's like, you know, not mainstream friendly. Like, I'd love to have loads of curse words in it, like, you know, talk about going out, relationships, you know, highs and lows, everything. And I'd love to write that book one day, and I'm sure I will. So yeah, that'd be an interesting one, but not for another few years. Maybe when I'm like completely done with the fitness industry. Wildest experience off the back of your success so far? First of all, I don't think I'm successful yet. There's still so much more I want to achieve. Success is also different from person to person. Everyone will have their own idea of success. But I'm not sure if some of the experiences are YouTube friendly. Maybe they'll go in the book that we just mentioned. Why do you refrain from wearing designer clothes? I have a few bits that I wear from time to time, but it's mainly stuff like, you know, shoes or a jacket or maybe jewelry or something. Just like something like a t-shirt or a hoodie. I don't think spending £450 on an item like that would make me any happier. No, not knocking people that do spend that. You know, I know some people who are just really into designer fashion. That's their thing. That's fine. I'd rather just spend it on like travel, like hotels, flights, and lovely meal out, just like experiences instead. Some people love wearing designer clothes the whole time. I'm not gonna knock that. And I definitely do love designer clothes. Like, they look great, you know? But I'd rather spend that proportion of my money on different things. Ever feel some adverse effects from staying as lean as you are? So I stay like pretty lean year round. Like, I've always got like a little bit of stomach definition, some abs. The only time I really feel it, like constant hunger, a little bit of lethargy, always thinking about food, is when I'm like just ridiculously lean. Like, I remember when I last competed 2 weeks out from my show, even 3 weeks, I was just hungry constantly. I'd eat a meal, I'd be hungry straight away after it. That's like how I did the 20,000 calorie challenge as well. Like, you just get so hungry and you're constantly thinking about food when you get that lean. And some people, you know, get these adverse side effects at different levels of body fat. So some people can be like 13% or 14%, and you know, they'll start feeling all these side effects, whereas some people can get to like 10 to 12% and really feel fine. They can get there quite easily. So genetics, just like with muscle, fat loss and everything, you know, being lean, genetics can play a part in that, how you feel at certain body fat percentages. So I might do a full video on that, you know, the side effects of being lean. I've seen a good few YouTubers do that. So yeah, only until I get like really, really lean do I feel dead inside. I'm bulking. Weight is going up perfectly at a steady rate, but I'm not seeing any size. So the thing is, you probably are, okay? And it's like, physically, if your weight is going up steadily, that has to be somewhere on your body. You know, your organs aren't getting any bigger, okay? So that weight must be going somewhere. And if you're, you know, lifting heavier in the gym, you're setting personal records, you're progressively overloading, you know, your weight's slowly going up, you probably are building muscle, but there's probably going to be covered in a little bit of body fat and water weight that comes along with bulking. And that's the really tough on the mind, is when you're bulking, you don't see the results until you cut down again. So some people are like, oh, screw this, yeah, I'm just going back to cutting, and you know, it doesn't pay off in the end. The weight has to be going somewhere, unless your calories are just ridiculously high, you're not training hard enough, and you're just getting fat. So unless that's it, if you're training properly and your weight's slowly going up, then you're probably gaining muscle, but you just can't see it yet until you cut down again. Self-motivating techniques that you use when you need it. So this one I think it was from David Goggins. And whenever you're going through a tough time physically, you know, training hard, or mentally tough time, you gotta think back to what time you felt so nice and relaxed. Maybe you're pigging out on the couch, watching a movie with your girlfriend, eating a pizza. Maybe you're lying on the beach, sipping a whiskey sour, sun's in your face. Oh man, and maybe you're at a concert, just having the best time ever with all your friends. You're gonna get that feeling again. Like, that feeling will come back, you know, good times lie ahead. And whatever you're going through now, it's only temporary and it's not gonna last. So think of the good times and just say, hey, I'm gonna get them again. I just gotta get through this now. So that's what I do. Comment down below any techniques that you guys use. Should influencers voice political opinions? If you're like a fashion influencer, a blogger, whatever, and you know, you just know about fashion and style and you've no idea about politics, you're not educated on the topic, then no, you shouldn't be talking about something you've no idea of. And also, as an influencer, you're not obliged to speak about anything. You can speak about whatever you want. There's no box that you tick when you sign up on Instagram and you're like, oh, you must spread awareness about this topic, you know? So people can talk about whatever they like, and no, if someone has no idea about politics, I don't think they should talk about it, you know? So yeah, you're not obliged to do anything, but if you do want to speak about it, you can as well. How to meet new people when moving to a different city. So this year I moved to London. The next video I do is probably gonna be a full video on that, you know, everything I wish I knew. So yeah, be outgoing, you know, be confident, go up to new groups and everything, go to events. I know that's hard this year, but hopefully next year. And the way I got in with kind of the groups that I'm friends with in London now was just kind of from mutual friends. So one friend would just invite you along, be like, hey, meet all my friends, and it kind of goes from there. So the way I learned to meet a lot of people this year in London, and I've got an amazing group of people here now as well, was just from mutual friends, usually Irish people that have made friends with English people. And yeah, you just get to know more people like that. Biggest lesson learned in your 20s? What a good question to finish off today's video. I would say just try everything. It's like that person that asked, you know, am I just getting started at 21 or am I old? You've got so much time. Like, you've got like a full decade of trying stuff and failing, you know? That's the best piece of advice. Just try everything. Try at college. Try not going to college. Try starting this business. Try doing that. You know, just try everything until you find what makes you pumped, okay? So that's my advice. Try everything. Finishing the video up here. Thanks so much for watching. Keep it real. I love you guys. I love sitting on the couch and just chatting to you. I love it. So until the next video, keep it real. Peace.